Welcome to episode 93 of I Know What You Watched Last Week, which is not your horror safe space because we will have very coarse language, somewhat controversial subject matter, and immaturity, obviously, because we are reviewing the Human Centipede Trilogy. So your first taste
Oh,
of the
why
Human
did you use that word?
Centipede
Disgusting.
franchise.
Yeah, my first experience with these films, and I'd heard about them. Who hasn't?
Yeah, because this is a film more famous for notoriety than the actual thing that was made.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I know of a more notorious film which I grew up during the time when it was released, so I saw it everywhere, especially for a movie that didn't get a wide cinema release or anything like that. You know, it only made like 200 grand at the box office.
I mean, I can
The first
see
one I'm talking
why.
about.
This is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever
But
seen.
people are intrigued by it, so it did very well on DVD sales, video on demand, things like that. And so
It seems like the kind of movie that also like young teens would dare themselves to watch at an evening or something.
Everybody had to see the Human Centipede just because of the name, and then, like I said, all of the press that was around it. So, what are your rankings? What did you enjoy most to least, or the other way, should I say?
Yeah. So my third place goes to the second installment.
Full sequence.
My second place goes to the first one. And
First sequence.
the gold goes to the third.
Final sequence. Yeah, I've got it in exactly the same order, which if you go by the critics, so if we just take IMDb as an example, the critics, out of 100, the first one, if I remember correctly, got 33 out of 100. Mm-hmm. Second one got 17. And the third one got 5. I'm not sure I've seen so many zeros given for a movie, but this was by far and away the best one. See,
Yeah.
I'd never actually seen number 2 and number 3 because I was underwhelmed by the first one. You know, you build yourself up, what can I expect from the Human Centipede? And it's somewhat under-delivered. So I'd only seen it the one time, but a lot of it did stick in my mind, even though I'd only seen it the once. And yeah, so now I am glad now that I saw the other two. I was blown away by the third one, and you almost didn't watch it because schedules are all funny, and I was kind of more looking forward to saying, actually, yeah, the third one was my favourite, and then just reading you what happened, because you just wouldn't believe it, would you? Who's in it, stuff like that. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know there were returning actors either, stuff like that. So yeah, I was going to go. Normally we'll go by the order that one of us picked, but we're going to go chronologically. Yeah.
But also, I just wanted to say before we get into the breakdowns of each one,
breakdown.
Each one had its like higher status. So for me, I think the first one is the most horror and the one that's taking itself the most seriously, if you can say that to any of these movies. The second one was probably the most just over the top disgusting, and the third one was just so bonkers. That it was, and a couple of the performances, because one of the actors especially gets to really let loose in this one, and it's incredible to see.
Yeah, I'm already going to say it. I recommend Human Centipede 3. In fact, if that DVD has a commentary on it, I'm buying it. I'm absolutely buying it. But yeah, let's start with Human Centipede then. Like I say, one of the most notorious movies of all time. We've got Dieter Lasser playing Dr. Heiter. And we've got a couple of, we've got the classic thing, man plays God. Which has been done before. Dieter Lasser's Dr. Heiter, and we've got Jenny and Lindsay, and guess what? Jenny and Lindsay are getting ready to go to a party. So guess what? They get in their car, they start driving through the middle of nowhere, and guess what? They get a flat tyre, and guess what? They got no signal on their phones. They just got to sit in the car and wait and decide what they're going to do. And while they're waiting, a perv drives up beside them.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
The
perv. But I'm really glad that they managed to portray, with these two American tourists and the couple of Germans that we meet in this, that all Germans are just disgusting shitbags.
Yeah, I also learned that from
right?
80s action movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's
clocks.
That's what I know. That's what I know now.
But yeah, this guy rolls up and he was saying stuff about like, oh, I've seen you two, basically doing porn is what he was suggesting.
Yeah, maybe they're cam girls or something.
Maybe.
like that.
I'd assume so. And then he's like, oh, you guys are always wet between the legs, aren't you? How would you
Ooh.
like it if I fuck you? And then he starts doing his tongue thing, like... It's so gross.
I do love tongue thing.
Yeah, I know you do. I hate them. I find them so... Bleh. The sound, the sight.
Yeah, he weirds out Jenny and Lindsay. Luckily, Flemmy drives off. But what are they going to do? They've got a flat tyre. They can't do anything about it. No phone signal. So what do? They start walking through the woods. And guess what? They come across a house which happens to be inhabited by a psychotic doctor who was top of his field in separating conjoined twins, but grew a fascination with then stitching things together rather
doing
than
the opposite.
taking them apart. And we're introduced to Dieter Lasser as Dr. Heiter, and into the house they go.
This guy does a fantastic job of just being unhinged, because he's so... Like, he comes across as so quiet, collected, cool. Like, he barely does anything for a lot of it with his actual expressions, but he just... Oh my god, his look is fantastic.
Terrifying.
Yes.
He's a terrifying person.
And then when he does break, he does it with such conviction that he's just like, okay, this guy is just insane. Before you even find out about what he likes to do, it's just, what a mentalist.
So for a controversial movie, we've got a very Hollywood premise here, haven't we? Teens are broken down, walking through the woods, and they come across the house of a psychotic. Once, before they go in there, we get a shot of a plaque in the garden which says, "My sweet 3 dog." Because we've also seen him previously, I think, before we get here, he's looking at his photograph of his Rottweilers all stitched together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my sweet 3 dog. And then when we walk in, we've got a canvas of conjoined twins on the back wall in his living room. And he offers the girls some water and to go and call the AA, accident and breakdown. And it's you say he's cool, calm and collected. Once he starts divvying out the water, because obviously he's going to drug it, and he's insistent that you drink this water. You drink it. I mean, it's just rule number 1, never accept a drink from a nutcase.
Yeah.
And this is probably the most, oh, you would never do that kind of thing I've ever seen in any movie, because they're so like... Every opportunity they get, it's like
and
they're gulping the water.
On edge, so I'm like, why would you just do that? But also, no, even before that, when they got out the car to walk, that itself wasn't the worst idea, because they're in the middle of nowhere. You don't know how long you'd wait there for. But
Another
why
perv might come.
did they not walk along the road? Like they walked right out into the middle of the forest and got lost.
Well, there's already been a perv on the road, so the road is off now, isn't it? It's instantly perv road. So you go into the hopefully not perv woods. That's what I'm thinking there. They start gulping down this water. One of them, I believe, Lindsay spills her drink. Jenny's downed hers, and then he comes in, Dr. Heiter, and he starts telling them, "Yeah, I've drugged you, and be prepared because I've got something in store for you." He also, he's fake called the AA, hasn't he? And they say to him, please call them again, or at least like call an ambulance because my friend is almost passing out. He's like, "Nope, I make no more phone calls." Jenny should have listened to Lindsay. He's like, "Let's get the hell out of here while we can," but she didn't. And now they're in for it. He also goes downstairs. He's got other captees strapped to the bed. And one of them is Katsuro, I believe. Not yet. Okay. Either way, there's one down there, and he's got someone who apparently his skin tissue won't meld with the other captee, so he just offs him because he's no good to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Lucky guy, in my opinion, compared to what could have happened.
Yeah. Would you rather have gone through being stitched and survive, or just be blown away?
No. I think I'd rather just off me now.
Right.
Oh, God, no.
So now he's got the 2 girls, and Katsura is now in the basement with them. They're all strapped down, and he gets out his slideshow, and he's just talking about, I'm gonna make incisions into your knee ligaments. And here is what I've got projected for the anus.
These drawings, because everything else
they were funny.
In this film, they've tried to go for really... Well, this is the highest quality in terms of, this is the most realistic, I'd say, of the 3, and it feels that way. But then when he gets
the most bourgeois.
When he gets his slideshow up with his drawings, I'm like, this looks so unprofessional. It's so stupid.
Well, he's a doctor, not an illustrator.
And when he's going on about, when he's got the actual centipede drawing up with the digestive tract that apparently connects them all, again, he's just done a doodly line through all 3. It's like the digestive tract looks nothing like that. What kind of doctor is this?
I reckon Tom Six drew that.
Yeah.
What I personally liked about it, apart from, the stretched open sphincter diagram, was then because you're going to obviously stitch the anus to the mouth, he had a picture of a head next to it just like this.
It's so
Big lips, that was good.
stupid.
That was really good.
That definitely took away from the medical expertise style they
Well,
were
this
going
film
for.
is 100% medically
Oh my god.
accurate.
If I hear that
That is
one
what
more
it was
time,
sold on. That's what it was sold on, being
gonna-
100% medically accurate.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I saw the diagrams. Now they've explained to them their fate. Katsuro, he's lucked out because he's going to be the head. He's going to be the
Yeah.
head of the centipede. Unlucky for Lindsay and Jenny.
Yeah.
Really
I
unlucky.
saw someone's review saying something which I thought was a really bizarre interpretation. They're like, oh, well, they say behind every man is a woman, in this case, two. And I was
A
like,
strong woman, yeah.
I
Two
don't
strong
think
women.
that's what Mr. Six was going for, but if you want to see that,
You
then...
don't think the film had a deeper message?
No, I don't think so. Not of that kind, anyway. There's a lot of people trying to give there's loads of deep messages, and I'm just like, I think this guy just wanted to make something disgusting.
Well, we'll see what I say later. Lindsay now tries to make an escape. It goes on for a while. She manages to run through the house everywhere, things like this. Of course, eventually she gets caught because she ends up in a swimming pool and she gets tranquilized.
Yeah.
So she's back. And now we get the scene of anus scalpeling. Good effects.
Yeah.
You ever seen any anus scalpeling?
I have not.
In the the talkies before.
No. In the pictures, no, I've never seen that.
It is, the thing is, it's not, apart from the anus scalpeling, it's kind of, it holds back. It doesn't go full gore, really, does it, this film? When you think about the Human Centipede and all the notoriety that was around it, I was thinking, it's going to be just splatter everywhere. Wasn't really so much, it's more the idea, the disgusting idea.
Well, again, like I said, I feel like this one was the one where they were trying to give it that medical side to it, because this guy is a
It's
surgeon.
100% medically accurate.
He's doing everything correctly, so in that case there shouldn't be just gore spattering everywhere, should there?
No, so
But
you're saying it's thought out.
the
yeah.
bit when he took the teeth out, obviously that's not new. We've seen that kind of thing in movies before, but I still think they did it really well. That I thought was quite explicit.
I've forgotten the name of it, but the Dustin Hoffman movie where he gets his teeth pulled out. That's good.
Okay.
I said it kind of holds back on the gore. At no point watching this movie did I see you go, ugh, or gross. But because we were watching this on a streaming service with ads, an advertisement for McDonald's breakfast came on and it showed the breakfast wrap and you went, ugh, disgusting. So, is McDonald's more disgusting than the Human Centipede? McDonald's breakfast, particularly.
Yeah, but also I was saying that because the McDonald's food is supposed to be good, whereas it did not look appetizing, whereas the Human Centipede is supposed to be disgusting.
I thought it looked
so-
luminous, that egg yolk was really shining. Now, the centipede's been made now, after McDonald's ad, back to the Human Centipede. And, Dieter Lasser, he's celebrating. He's got his camera out, he's taking pics, he's getting the mirror out so he can show them all their reflection as their new self. He also cages them at night time, so obviously that can't escape. Not that there's much chance of escape because they can barely move at speed. And I was written down that Katsuro is the head of the centipede. When he's put in the cage, Dr. Hyde is about to go to bed and he shouts out, "You European madman!" I'm wondering if that's a thing from, is that a comment? The Japanese think that all Europeans are madmen.
Maybe.
Possibly. I just found it a weird thing to say. And so next morning he starts trying to train the centipede. He's like trying to call
a dog,
Katsuro,
yeah.
trying to get him to bring the paper.
Yeah. They're quite resistant, aren't they? And I'm just like,
Well, we
on one
don't
hand,
know if the girls are resistant.
I guess. Yeah. I also noticed that he chose the one guy who doesn't speak any languages that he speaks to be the head, and obviously it's not the girls are going to be talking to him, so maybe he did that again to make it more like a dog.
Yeah, I can't understand what you're saying, so...
Yeah, bring me the newspapers. But obviously Katsuro's having none of it. He doesn't want to bring the papers.
Of course he doesn't. So he's punished for this. And at dinner time, he ends up... he's really peeved about being treated like a dog, Katsuro. Yeah. So in his language, in Japanese, he's sitting next to the dinner table. He's saying, "I'm not a dog, yada, yada, yada." And does he bite Dr. Heiter's leg? Not a good idea, because then Dr. Heiter gives him a knee to the face, a really swift one. knocks him
Yeah.
out mostly.
I was thinking, I was like, if you're gonna go ahead and like bite his ankle, you might as well really commit and try and at least damage his tendons or something. Like, do something a bit more permanent than just a quick bite and then back off, because that's just gonna piss him off.
Well, how hard can you bite into an ankle without damaging your teeth?
No, I reckon if you really grip on there like a dog would and like maybe do some Achilles heel damage.
Because he hasn't done this hard enough now, he's still part of the centipede. So next day they're out in the garden again. At least he's taking them outside for some fresh air. That's something. It's not just keeping them inside cooped up. And we kind of had the coup de grace of this film, where in the subtitles, Katsu was like, "Shit! I have to shit!" And this excites Dr. Hayter no end. He's like, "Feed them! Feed her!"
Oh, it's
disgusting.
It is really gross.
Unluckily for Jenny, where she's been stitched to the anus of Lindsay, might be the other way around.
Blech.
Her skin starts to get a bit of an infection. It's all pussy.
Yeah.
He squeezes the pus out of the stitching, and he tells her, "You're infected. I'm going to have to replace you."
That was almost the most disgusting part. The idea of not only being attached to your friend's butthole and eating her shit, but also that your tissue is rejecting the grafting, and it's, oh my god, yeah, that was gross.
That was gross. Yeah, but still not over the top gore for me. It was just more like, ugh.
No.
Especially the. So he needs a replacement now. Luckily for him, he gets a call from the police at the house, and we have Wolle und Kranz. Sounds like a German buddy cop movie, doesn't it? Wolle und Kranz. And they've come to the house because they've heard rumours of, suspicious noises and people loitering around the house and things like this, and being carried in by Dr. Hayter. Because when he goes and gets Katsuro, he drives back into his driveway in the daytime, and he just pulls him out of the back of his car and puts him over his shoulder and walks in.
And the first trucker guy that he got, that was in the daytime as well.
Yeah.
When he pulled over for a shit. Big mistake.
Dr. Hayter is not appreciative of Wolle und Kranz coming around and questioning him. He's got a real god complex. How dare you question me? I have important work to do.
Yeah.
And you are not of a high enough standing to come and see the work that I'm doing. So they said, "Can we just take a look around your house?" Like, absolutely not. You'll need a warrant for that. He says, "Right, I'll be back in 20 minutes then if you're not going to let me
But even
look around."
his, not the main detective guy, but his partner, even he does that water rehypnol thing. He drinks it. I'm like, why? Like, you can't be that thirsty. The two girls, at least, were trekking through the forest for who knows how long. But these guys, like, don't they have a water bottle in the car? Do they really want to go into a suspect's house and start drinking?
No, cops drink coffee. They drink coffee and eat donuts.
He didn't have coffee, though. He was too busy for coffee, apparently.
While he's being questioned by the police, he obviously had to let his centipede downstairs. And Katsuro's been shouting to the top of his lungs, trying to get the attention, but it's soundproof, I'd imagine. So while they're down there, Dr. Hayter comes back, but Katsuro's found like a scalpel or something. So when Dr. Hayter comes back down the stairs, into his foot, and I believe into his thigh or his knee. It's probably his knee, isn't it? Because he's incapacitated. He can't stand up anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's time for centipede escape. And Katsuro is saying like the words for 1 and 2. So it's like, we're going to lift, we're going to walk, but they've got a spiral staircase to get up to. It's not going to be easy for them to get up to it. And also, we're never showing them going up spiral staircase and stuff like that. It's just edited like, here they are, here's the stairs. Oh, now they are.
No, that was previously in the escape attempt when one of the girls tries to drag the inert body of her other friend up the stairs. Yeah. That's when we missed it, because I was like, she seems to be struggling just dragging her along the floor. There's no way she got her up those stairs. No, we actually do see some of the centipede going up the steps, because
we saw some of it, but we saw the easy bit. We didn't see the twisty bit.
They did this whole thing of like showing the blood dripping, because it's not a good position for them to be in, apparently, and it's pulling on there.
Yeah.
Stitches.
But I wasn't getting like a ooh from the pulling of the stitches. It wasn't done to make me scream enough.
No, I was actually surprisingly not feeling too squeamish for most of these films.
It's not squeamish. Like I said, I was underwhelmed the first time I saw it. I thought, what's going to happen here? Anyway, once they get to their escape, Dr. Hayter, he's in hot pursuit, crawling along the floor. Like I say, the blood started coming down the stairs where they've been pulled apart a little bit and stuff like this, and he starts to drink that blood. And he manages to get up. Katsuro's tried to smash a window, but he can't get through, and he turns around and Dr. Hayter's there. Katsuro turns the centipede around so he comes face to face with Dr. Hayter, and he makes a speech and he's got a shard of glass in his hand from where he's been trying to smash the window. And you somewhat think that he's going to go for Dr. Heiter, but no, he's making this speech and he slits his own throat.
Yeah, because when he was trying to smash that window before he turned around, he had like a big heavy lamp stand in his hand to smash the glass. And when he turned around and noticed that the doctor was there, he puts the lampstand down and grabs his tiny little shard of glass. I was like, that is the dumbest decision you've made.
Well, no, not if you're trying to kill yourself. Because
Well, no, exactly. But at that point, I didn't realise.
We don't know what he's thinking. He makes a rather long speech, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's more like kind of like along the lines of, "Was I a man who dreamed he was a centipede, or a centipede who dreamed he was a man?" I think that
Is that
ties
what
it up
Okay.
as to what he's saying there. The cops are back now. Vodda und Kranz, they're back. They see this thing with the dead Katsura at the head of it. The psychic cop, the one who drank the water, he gets killed somehow.
Right.
Kind of forgotten. And the other cop
he gets
chases.
shot by the doctor.
Oh,
in
so
the
they both get shot in the swimming pool then.
Eventually, yeah.
Right.
Because the second doctor comes down, finds his partner floating dead in the pool.
That's it.
The doctor's sitting there with his gun.
Yeah, Dr. Hyder's sitting there. So when the cop notices his friend dead in the pool, he looks up. Dr. Hyder shoots him, but then the cop also then shoots Hyder through the head.
So at least it's the end of the doctor. And at sometime around this exact moment, the girl on the end who was having the rejection of tissue, she's now also just passed away. So you have the one girl left in the middle of two dead bodies, still sewn on.
She's not going to be there for long though, because two cops have come round. They're not going
killed.
They're not going to show up for work the next day, or even come back to the office that day. The precinct. So yeah, I was thinking even when it ended, the cops are going to come, and she'll probably survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won't live there for that long. So is that a happy ending?
The only survivor.
Happy ending.
No.
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 Didn't fill you with joy. Talk about being filled with joy. Let's move on to number 2.
Filled with joy.
Number 2. In this one, I said we kind of like, they held back somewhat on the gore. In this one,
they just
it's mutilation. We see the ligament cutting. We see teeth pulling, defecating, rape, like the whole shebang.
This was almost the opposite
Child abuse
to the first one. Considering it's like basically the same thing that happens, they have done it in a completely different way. I wonder if it was like a reaction to seeing the first one, then being like, right, if you guys think this is gross, let me show you really gross.
It was that. Tom Six literally said that.
Oh, okay.
So that's what he's going for. He also then said the same thing about number 3 compared to number 2. So this one takes like a metafictional approach, if that's even a word, metafictional, because in the film Human Centipede 2, there's a guy called Martin, played by Lawrence R. Harvey, and he is obsessed with the Human Centipede movies and wants to make his own 12-person version of it to outdo Dr. Heiter.
Yeah, this film, in all the ways that the first one actually kind of held back, this one's so over the top, and I'm not just talking about like spattering shit, I'm talking about all the characters involved in this. So you've got that guy that you just mentioned,
Martin.
Lead. I don't think he says word throughout this entire film, does
Says,
he?
I believe, one word. Apart from that, it's all just grunts, squeals, and kind of maniacal sissy laughter, I'd call it.
Yeah, pretty silent type. They've played up his looks as well. They've really made his eyes bulge, and they've shown off his.
No, I think he just. How do you make his eyes bulge?
No, but like they've shown it more than. Yeah, and so we've got him. Then we've got his mother, who is a nutcase as well. We get
She's a bad egg.
Backstory of his dad abusing him from when he was really little. We've got the psychiatrist guy. I mean, how dodgy was he though?
Yeah.
Just like everyone involved in this could be the main character of their own weird film.
Is, he's ostracized from society. He's rejected, and like you say, he doesn't really utter a word. I thought it was a really good performance from the guy.
Oh
Lawrence
God,
R.
yeah.
Harvey. I thought he did superb.
Yes, I am. Again, that's the second film in a row where you're just like, wow, the main actor's performance couldn't really be better.
People, a lot of the reviews will say, "Oh, classic, low rent horror movie with gore and bad acting. I'm like, well, no, if you think about it, in 3 movies, in my opinion, he's got really good performances out of those leads.
The leads,
being Dieter Lasser,
absolutely,
and Mr. Harvey.
There were a couple of things, for example, like the girls in the first one, there were bits where I was like, oh, that wasn't great.
It is when we first see them in the movie, when they're in like a motel room getting ready for the party. It is filmed like one of those, $50,000 budget horror movies that go straight to streaming. Kind of people uploaded it themselves, kind of thing. Whereas Human Centipede had 1.5 million euros to make it. That was probably the only bit that film-wise looked a bit ropey. The rest of it was pretty good.
So I could see like performance, but then I was also thinking, I was like, because I assumed they didn't get paid a huge amount. I was like, you have to find actresses who were willing to film half the film with their face in someone's arse. So that must narrow down.
Well, actors they're the most desperate profession out there, aren't they? They really are. So Martin, our lead, he's working in an underground car park in like the booth, like the payment booth, isn't he? Or security, something like that.
Got all the cameras.
And while he's down there, this movie is also filmed or shown to us in black and white. And he's just there, and we see him kill a couple who are in the car down there. Is the first couple that he kills one with the baby?
I think they're the second, but it doesn't really matter because we don't get any backstory for these people.
No, what he does is he kills them, he kind of duct tapes them, like throws them in the back of his van. And he does this all on the premises of his place of work. And he does it a lot, and just kind of like no bells are alarming. No bells are ringing.
This was when it was starting to get just like the first one I thought was kind of silly. Because it was, it was just silly trying to be all like, we are medically accurate, but it's like you're sewing people's faces to buttholes. This one was just stupid. And it's, so what you said, so he'll have these bodies in the back of his van and just go back into his little cubicle, continue watching the movie on his laptop whilst he's supposedly watching the cameras. And he seems like this story seems to go over a few days. Like he's not getting all these people in one shift. We see him leave, we see him come back. And as you said, no alarm bells are sounded at all. I'm like, how is this possible that this one guy's place of work, he's on camera doing this stuff to these people?
I think it might have been a conscious decision on the filmmaker's part, as in all we're going to do is show you disgusting scene after disgusting scene after disgusting scene. And it doesn't have to, exactly, it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to believe, oh, that would never happen kind of thing. I think that's what they've gone for.
But that takes away from the horror for me.
That's the thing. For something, I had spoken to a friend of mine about this some years ago, and I'd mentioned I've only seen the first one, and he said to me, "Oh, the second one goes in a completely different way," and he's used always, the words like dark, sadistic kind of thing like that. But when I was watching it, I wasn't really disgusted or anything. I was just on the same level. It didn't really evoke any reaction from me. I was just watching it, and I guess at the end I was a bit like. that was how it made me feel mostly.
Yeah, I could see exactly what they're going for with making it all more disgusting, and I think they did that, but because it was so unrealistic, it made it more of a comedy almost than like a disgusting comedy than a horror for me. Because I agree, there was only one scene in this that made me feel a bit disgusted.
I guess if you're on a certain way inclined, it could be seen as a black comedy. It could be. The first one is certainly humorous. In parts, just mostly because of Dieter Lasser. So as we mentioned, Martin's putting these people in the back of his van and stuff like that. And what you do is he'll incapacitate them by shooting them, but he'll only shoot them in, say, the shoulder or the leg, something like that, so that they can't walk or whatever. And then he's got a pipe.
A
crowbar, pipe, pole, whatever. And he walks up to multiple people when he kills them over several days. And he's really got the knack for just putting the right amount of force in as to just KO them rather than, crush their skull or kill them.
Yeah, Pop. So actually, none of those people are actually dead.
No, none of them were dead.
It looked like he'd killed them all, but then we see them alive in a big warehouse space that he hasn't rented it, has he? Because he offed the guy who was renting it.
He did, yeah. He was going to rent it, but then he got it for free. So that's a good deal.
And again, no alarm bells raised.
Did he keep the landlord of the warehouse?
No, because I think the landlord, he actually killed him.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. You can't keep someone dead to be part of the Centipede. So you mentioned the mother. You mentioned this psychiatrist that he has, doctor. He's also got a noisy neighbour.
Oh yeah,
a really noisy neighbour
who loves his music.
And Martin's mum is always like, "Oh, you never stick up to him. You're not a man. You're this, that, and the other." You know, he's put down upon by everybody.
And she's
isn't
the one
he?
stirring up. She's always banging on his floorboards, their ceiling, and he's coming down. Then she's like, "Oh, my son can't take it," and so of course he then beats Martin up because he's like, "Oh, you little weirdo."
Yeah, he's like a roided out guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tattooed, bald.
Again, just a really like extreme character. There's not a single character in this that's just like, except for I guess most of the victims that you just get no backstory for.
No, because they're just there to be part of the centipede. So
Yeah.
You don't need to know about their life.
Oh, but one of them as well is pregnant, which is like another little addition.
The neighbour, you know,
Yeah.
he's a brute, isn't he? He's tattooed, bald, and roided out. You've got that
Must be
classic casting of a guy like that. And the mother is... So the father is not around because he's in prison, and the mother blames Martin for his incarceration, even though I think she knows that clearly the father has been sexually abusing Martin throughout his life. And before this, we've had Martin like laying in bed, just looking vacantly up at the ceiling, and we hear the voiceover of, "Oh, it's like no tears, don't cry. You know that only gets daddy harder." Ugh, that's actually Lawrence Harvey who did that voiceover.
Oh, okay.
The guy who plays Martin. He played his dad in voice form. So yeah, the mother is blaming Martin for the dad not being
he's
around.
like, obviously, because he's not the type. He doesn't have the capability, I think, to just go blabbing about what happened. But maybe
No, of
with
course
the
not.
psychologist, stuff has come out. His dad's been convicted of molesting his own child. And then the mum's like, "Oh, it's your fault. I wish my husband was still here and you were dead," kind of thing.
When the psychiatrist comes to visit the house for, I assume, what's supposed to be a session, you know, he's putting his hand on Martin's leg. He's lusting after him, isn't he? And he's saying, oh, he puts things out there like people who have been victim to sexual abuse, they'll mutilate their own reproductive organs during masturbation and stuff like that. I was like, where's this going?
Well,
And it does go somewhere. So yeah, everyone is a complete wrong, like you said. But at this point, I want to know, because we've got all this in there so far, all these disgusting topics and themes, because it's shot in black and white, is it art?
I was thinking about the black and whiteness. I was like, that's kind of a bizarre choice because, as we said, this one's supposed to be like more just in your face, disgusting, gory stuff or whatever. So having it in black and white kind of almost goes against that. It would have made more sense for the first one to be black and white and this one to be colour. That would have gone more with it.
I did ask, is it art because it's black and white? But it's shot in the most unartistic way possible. And once again, I don't know if I'm giving too much credit. It could be purposeful. It could be and also black and white, is it giving it more of a video diary effect? You know, it's grungy, isn't it?
Yes.
The whole thing is grungy. Does it elevate it?
It probably does. If it was in colour, it would be even more stupid.
I've seen a lot of people say about
somehow
the black and white, and you know, oh, just because you put it in black and white doesn't elevate your movie. But the thing was, and people have also questioned putting it in black and white. It was actually shot in colour.
Yeah.
They just decided, the filmmakers, that it was too gory, and OTT putting it in black and white kind of like leveled it out a bit and suited the story a bit more.
I can't decide if it's Tom Six, right?
Tom Six, yeah.
I can't decide if he's
Tom Six.
a genius or an idiot.
See, I had seen Tom Six in interviews before, and I do find the man funny. Yeah, he's got a certain way about him, and you know, Austin Powers would say, "You crazy Dutch bastard."
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. Martin also, by the way, because he's so obsessed with the Human Centipede,
Yeah.
he also moonlights as Quentin Tarantino's casting director.
Oh, God.
And he manages to contact the actress who played Jenny, Miss Yenny, in the first one, to come to London, England, I think they're in London, and audition for the new Quentin Tarantino movie. And I'm just thinking, because we've seen Martin in the movie not utter a word and just giggle and squeal, how is he managed to be like,
done this?
right, hello, I'm the casting director for Quentin Tarantino,
it.
and we would love to see your clients. You know, it's just not going to happen,
and
is
it's not even
it?
just Jenny's, because he gets calls from the other, both of the other actors who are in the Centipede, and they're like, oh, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, they can't come. And then he gets the one from Jenny. I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was like, what the hell kind of low rent agents are these that they're just like, you aren't listed, I have no idea who you are, you're probably not talking properly, but yes, I will send my client over for a Quentin Tarantino audition.
You know, because because of Jenny's like, so far in this world, possibly like in the real world, she's only starred in the Human Centipede. So when someone calls saying they're attached to Quentin Tarantino, you're kind of like, okay, they've got no papers and stuff or no proof, but it's QT. I'm going. So like I said, actors are the most desperate of the profession.
And also, another thing is like, is it genius or idiotic that he's got his own movie in this one? And not only that, but Martin has also created like a scrapbook from the movie. So like stills of the people and the cover on it and stuff. I'm like, again, put your own movie into the second movie. Don't even get me started when we get to the third movie. But like, I can't tell if that's just pure irony or if he is actually just trying to be like, no, it's 100% medically accurate. Seriously. I'm like, yeah, okay,
You'll never work him out. Like you say, is he an artist or a nutcase, or is he both? We'll never know. Much more graphic, this one, even though it is in black and white. And you've already mentioned, so now he offs the neighbour because he kills his mother. He snaps and he kills his mother. And he purposely gets the broom and knocks on the ceiling so that the neighbour will come down. The neighbour sees the mum, and then he's off as well.
Yeah.
The mum's not in a good way, is she?
The mum one's really graphic. He like completely bashes her head in to the point where there's like a hole through where her face used to be.
She ends up looking like a bit like the Crypt Keeper.
And she's put up on the table for dinner and he's just there like... He can make food for himself though. That's good. It
was more like slop, it's something that you're just going to put in a microwave. Isn't it? Like, when you get like cocktail weenies in a tin of beans, he's eating something like that, I reckon. Nutritious.
But, yeah, so I think that's...
And delicious.
Probably the last addition to his centipede. He wanted 12 people, I believe, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's finally got these people. And like I say, one of them is pregnant. We'll go back to the doctor quickly, because there's a scene when Martin is once again working in the underground car park. And I believe parked possibly in a taxi, like a black cab. There's just the doctor in the back getting a blowjob from a prostitute, and the guy in the front just like casually talking to him. And while the doctor's getting the blowjob, just casually asked, "How much for anal?" And she popped up and she's like, 50. I was like, that's a good deal.
Well, you say the guy in the front is just
that's a bargain.
Casually talking.
Yeah.
But he's not really, is he? He's sniffing his fingers and saying, "Oh, your pussy smells right nice."
He's had a go as well.
That was almost the most disgusting point for me, but the most disgusting thing happens later.
If she's charging 50 for anal, how much does she charge for the blowy?
I don't know.
No. Okay. Once we get in, so he's got everyone now in like the warehouse, and he brings out his crowbar again. Once again, hitting them with just the right amount of force so he can knock them out and stitch them together. And he's marking all the ligaments, things like this. He's going to do the same because he's learned. He's watched Human Centipede enough that he knows how to perform these procedures.
I did quite enjoy the little scene where he's got his suitcase in the kitchen at home and he's just opening drawers and just getting out like rusty knives and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the reason that this one is so much more disgusting and gory than the first one is because in the first one, at least, as we mentioned, he's a professional surgeon and everything's done with a certain accuracy and with the right equipment. Whereas in this one, he hasn't got any training, he hasn't got any of the equipment. He's just using like home cutlery and a staple gun I saw him put in there as well.
That was good.
Yeah, so it's going to just be more disgusting.
Where the movie was just constant violent scene after sickening scene after sickening scene, it does take the point where you can only pick out a couple of bits where it's like, oh, that was effective, because there's so much of it that only a couple of bits of it work in terms of like, ugh.
Well, his first wank
with the sandpaper.
That's pretty out there. I've not seen that in a movie.
It is out there, and is that a real penis? I
don't know. I didn't even think about it.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but kind of what would they call it in the industry? A brave performance. A brave performance. So we'll get back to the captees, right? So one of them is pregnant, as you mentioned. So he's gonna make a centipede. We all know this. And he goes about it the other way. The pregnant girl manages to escape. She gets out into the car park. As she's running though, her water's broken, so she's leaking everywhere. And is it when she finally sits down in the car that the baby slurps out of her, and as she tries to speed off, she crushes the baby's head under the accelerator pedal? Yeah, I'm not seeing that before.
No, I've not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also with the same woman, because she was pregnant, and Martin got her and her husband.
Mm.
But they had a child that was already born, a toddler. And we've seen that child throughout the days when he was collecting his victims, just sat in their car. So nobody's noticed that there's just a baby sat in his car for days.
This is just a car park for degenerates who don't care and people who are not in the know. So that's how we can get away with it. I think this is a car park
that's actually in an alternate universe. Cause...
Hey, now you've got questions for Tom Six.
Yeah.
Now you're really onto it. So, as I said, he's now made after the baby head crushing scene. We're back into the warehouse. Centipede has been made and stuff. And now we've already had sandpaper. Now it's time for razor wire.
This was the bit that made me feel sick, because April just really... There's not a single time where it's not going to make me feel disgusted.
Obviously, you've got a 12-person centipede. The last one is a female victim, and he's put the razor wire around his appendage, and in he goes. I've never seen that before.
No. Absolutely revolting.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Well, no, because the other thing where they went over the top, and again, I kind of appreciated that because he's done it so unprofessionally, using
Martin.
Yeah,
right.
Martin using serrated knives and a staple gun to do the operations. When the first person does do a number 2, we see the shit literally like spattering from the gaps where he hasn't
stitched it together properly.
Yeah, and it spatters like onto the camera lens and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Do you know what? I put this movie bottom, you put this movie bottom. And I remember finishing it, having only watched it once still, a couple of days ago. And I was like, this is not a good film. It's pretty poor. But the more I thought about it, I guess there are elements that I do like, because let's just go into that. Society judges people, or society is judged on the worst acts that an individual or group of people will commit, right? Rather than thinking about what got them to that point, kind of thing, like nipping it in the bud much earlier before it gets to this point. Because you've got a marginalised guy, he's been abused by his parents, he's ignored, he's forgotten. Is this somewhat an understandable reaction? Obviously, what happens in the movie is elevated because it's stitching it together. But I'm talking about just the thing of he's going out and harming people.
Yeah, I don't know, because obviously people do either continue the cycle of abuse or they completely break it. So I don't think there is a rule of like, oh yeah, well if you're abused then this is what's going to happen to you. And I didn't feel like that, because I know they were saying this stuff and I was like, yeah, that's absolutely atrocious, but that doesn't excuse anything.
How do you feel about Martin? Like what is your feeling towards him? I have a lot of sympathy for him, even though he commits this depraved acts. And the thing is, it's not just wrong and that he's doing it to innocent people, which is too far. Kind of like the character, especially for a character in a movie, if he's only doing it to people that have wronged him, it's a different take. But when you've got innocent people in there,
well, the thing is with him, what's happened to him when he was young
is unforgivable.
Is completely unforgivable, and clearly, like we get backstory, we know kind of what's happened, but there must be a lot to it for him to be this messed up. But the problem is, at this point, it doesn't even really matter, because he is just fucked up and should just not be in society.
But like you said, I was sympathetic towards him. Are you sympathetic or not? Because we've seen this kind of thing in many films. We just go back to Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle, played by Robert De Niro. Are you ducking the me? He's a guy who's put down, he's getting nowhere in life, and he snaps. And I don't think we hate Travis Bickle. I've probably not seen Taxi Driver, I assume, right? No, but it's the same kind of concept, except for one's Scorsese and one's Tom Six.
Yeah, no, it was kind of a thing. Like, yeah, I feel sorry for the child that he was and what happened to him, and obviously his life is still awful. But no, there wasn't really much sympathy.
Is there a message to this film, or am I giving it too much credit?
Again, I don't know. Is Tom Six a genius or an idiot? I just don't know. Is this like Tommy Wiseau? Is he a genius or an idiot? I just don't know.
Absolute, that's guaranteed genius. Because there is barely a funnier movie than The Room, purposeful or not. I started to think. So when I said that, I put this movie bottom, and I was trying to think, did I really like this movie or not? And what the original, the first reaction was, no, I didn't enjoy this movie because it just made me, it wasn't like, oh, disgusting. It didn't make me feel like that. It just made me go like, kind of like that, because you're kind of like numb towards the end of it. But there are a lot of similar themes and topics in Heathen, in the movie, right? So this has graphic violence. You would say that is torture porn pretty much, because Human Centipede has come after Hostel, it's come after Saw. And this is the logical ending of torture porn, I suppose. Now, there's no actual torture porn in Heathen. It's probably the one subgenre which is missing. Even though there is graphic violence, I've got it in my head as I call it operatic violence. Okay, so everything's going to be artistic and beautiful to look at, whereas this is not that. And like I said, it makes you huff, it makes you feel a bit numb, kind of thing. Whereas Heathen has all the aspects. If you even take the lead character, rejection, isolation, cut off from society, but obviously Josh is not kind of gross to look at, and you feel sympathy for him because he's a good guy, and obviously he doesn't react in anywhere near the same way as what Martin does in this. So Heathen has all the same aspects, but it's exhilarating. It's not there to flatten you. It's like the complete opposite of what this is, even though it deals with exactly the same things. Even this has child abuse, right? Which is always grim. There's no child abuse in Heathen, but there is infanticide. But still, it's made, not particularly the infanticide scene, but the movie in general is made to exhilarate you and pump you up. It's like really going to pump you up. And you ask how can a movie with the same themes as Human Centipede 2 like leave you pumped? And it's because you have really good storytelling, a great story, and you have characters that are interesting and that you can invest in and that you can relate to. All of that is missing from here, because you said about the characters in this, they're all over the top. Heathen, all the characters pretty much, apart from one or two. I said to you, I love over the top acting, but over the top in terms of like RoboCop, in terms of like Al Pacino, that kind of over the top acting. This is a slightly different over the top way, but all the characters are up there like that. So it does. I was thinking, man, this really does have similar things in common with Heathen, but in a completely different way.
Well, a completely different thing is that all I could think throughout this entire movie was how stupid it was. Not even just silly. I was like, this is just stupid. So
yeah, you were more laughing.
Yeah, I just thought it was so ridiculous.
I guess it is kind of a ridiculous movie, and it's made to offend. You know, he's out there purposely pushing the buttons of people who are easy to get. And what is kind of confusing is there are a lot of people who've watched this film who clearly aren't into horror, and they just watch it to be offended and say things like, oh, movies like, how does it get made? Things like this shouldn't be sown. It's, it's against society and things like this. Why do they watch it? I don't sit down and watch a Jason Momoa movie featuring, Harry Styles and whoever else, because I know I'm going to hate it. I wouldn't watch that movie knowing I'm going to hate it and then complain about it. Just avoid it. The movie's called The Human Centipede. How idiotic have you got to be to sit down and like, oh, it's Human Centipede, I bet that's a nice movie. Oh no, it's disgusting, I'm going to complain about it. Morons. And that's where I've got a lot of respect for Tom Six, is that he is purposely pushing these buttons.
Although Tom Six did also say, he's like, oh, I want to push boundaries and do something that no one's done before. What's the point in a movie that people have seen? And I completely agree with that. But then hasn't he kind of shot himself with a foot with literally doing the exact same thing in the second one, essentially, that he does in the first one?
So it's not different. No, but the first one, like I said, it's more Hollywood. It has that classic Hollywood linear tale to it. Okay, it has all the tropes, whereas this one just doesn't. It's just frame after frame of we're going to discuss.
It does almost feel like the second one would be the first one.
Mm-hmm,
it seems like lower production value and stuff to me.
That's because it's been popped in black and white, obviously, and it's been filmed very unartistically, which again I'm not sure if it's purposeful or not. But I would have said I wouldn't watch it again, and I'm probably still at that point. It's the kind of thing you see it once, that's enough. No, you've seen it. Number 3, however, which we've both put at number 1, the most derided of all 3. I loved it. I absolutely I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what to. I thought it was just going to be. Remember before you left the house the other day, I said to you, "Oh, we're probably going to pop on Human Centipede 3. What's it going to be? Just going to do the same thing but in a prison." And to its credit, it wasn't.
So we had silly, then we had stupid. This one is all out bonkers. This one's absolutely insane. And this is the point where I think it tips and I'm like, well, no, surely Tom Six has done this on purpose.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can't make this movie and think like, oh yeah, no, this is believable.
Dieter Lasser is back as a different
Yay.
character. So in this one, he plays like a cliche Texas type lawman who's head honcho at the prison, and he's got Lawrence R. Harvey, the lead Martin from the second one, as his as like his deputy almost. What is he? He's his accountant, and he's just his right hand man essentially, isn't he? So they're both back playing completely different characters. His name's Billy Boss. William Boss is the one that Dieter Lasser plays. Lawrence Harvey is back as his psychic Dwight. And like the first thing to see, they're sitting in the office. They also have, or should I say, Dieter Lasser as what did I just say his name was?
Bob.
Bill Boss. Bill Boss has also got a secretary, Daisy, played by Brie Olson. Apparently, she does porn. I don't know who Brie Larson is. And
Did you just say Olsen and then Larson? Because those are two very different.
Brie Olson.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't know who she is. She's in movies like My Sister's Hot Friend, and I don't know what that is either.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
I imagine there's like My Sister's Hot Friend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is this going over your head?
Yeah, I don't watch porn.
She's a secretary, and the first thing we see of her is she walks into the office and she's like interrupting the conversation between Dwight and Bill Boss. Bill Boss, Dieter Lasser, as he does a lot in this, he starts shouting. He shouts a lot in this movie.
Oh my
And he's like, do not interrupt me, and sticks a finger up her and says, just because you have the privilege of sucking and fucking me does not mean you get to voice your opinion. What a start. What a start to this film.
Dieter Lasser must have been bloody exhausted at the end of this film because his performance is just 100% energy at all times. The amount of times he has like a shouting rage fit and he dances a few times. And,
He does.
I mean, wowzer.
You know, I thought his first performance in the first movie was possibly over the top. That's actually really reined in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small performance in that first one, measured. This one, out of his tree. In this, after this great opening scene, by the way, you know, like I said, this is not your horror safe space. Robert Lozardo. Robert Lozardo's here, and guess what? He's been cast as a violent inmate.
What?
So, spreading his wings. Is there a more typecast guy in the film industry than Robert Lozardo?
No, he just does the exact same thing.
He does, but people employ him because he does that.
Well, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, the first one I saw him was in Nip Tuck, where he's amazing. But then he's just done the same thing ever since that. And so Bill Boss, he's now walking the wings of the prison. And that's how we come across Robert Lozardo. And Robert Lozardo's a bit mouthy to him, even though he shouldn't be, because clearly Bill Boss is completely deranged. And we see a black prisoner. Bill Boss decides to pick on him, even though everyone's shouting. Shouts out the N-word. Calls him like an ape. Says he has ape bones, and then breaks his elbow or his arm. And says, oh, by the way, once your ape bone is healed, I'll be back to do it again. I was like, whoa. I think, you know the first one was 100% medically accurate. The tagline for this was 100% politically incorrect. And he delivers. He
does.
He absolutely delivers on it.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie with more insults based on certain stereotypes ever in my life. We get one bit in the movie where it's literally just every single race or ethnicity or religion is insulted.
Everybody's for it, which is good. But like South Park, everyone's there for the taking. The reason he wants he breaks the certain arms because he asked, what is his masturbation arm? So, you know, he's really thinking, he's not just thinking about breaking someone's arm. He's doing it for a reason. He's going to come back for a follow-up. They're back in the office, and Dwight in this, much like Mr. Harvey, who played Martin in the first one, he's also got a slight obsession in this one with the Human Centipede movies this time, both 1 and 2. And he keeps trying to like hold them up and show the DVDs straight into the camera, which clearly comes straight from Tom Six. I'm showing my DVDs on a thing, and he's complaining that the system doesn't work. You know, we're spending 50 billion on this, that, and the other. People are reoffending. 40% of people who are released after 3 years are back in the prison, and we need a real deterrent. And then just a close-up of Daisy's arse cheeks in a very short skirt.
Yeah. There's not a moment of this where there's not something going on, something just, again, full out energy going on. But yeah, also, the very beginning of this, when we meet the two guys in their office, and they were watching the end of, like...
Bill Boss and Dwight.
The Human Centipede 2, I was getting confused trying to figure out, like, who are these characters supposed to be? Are they supposed to be both the film producers / actors of the previous two films, and they run a prison?
Like I said, it's a metafictional approach. How are you not getting this?
But yeah, no, so that turns out wrong. And also I wanted to say that the guy, so Dwight in this one, who was Martin in the previous one, he doesn't say much, as we said in the second film, but he's a British actor. And in this one, even though he's got a little Hitler moustache thing going on, he's got, I think it's supposed to be a Texan accent, and it is quite possibly the worst attempt at an accent I've seen in any film ever.
Worse than Jason Statham in Parker.
Oh, Highlander. Sean Connery.
Oh, yes. This is my Spanish accent.
But yeah, pretty terrible.
I would say that Mr. Harvey's accent in this and his performance in general is all played for laughs. Once again, I'm there. I'm like, has he done it this shit on purpose?
Yeah, just
for me, it just adds to the film. It just adds to the film.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Everything in this is bonkers. I mean, the stuff that, you know, breaking the guy's bones and stuff. That would never, like, he would never legally be able to get away with all the stuff that he's doing.
This is Human Centipede 3.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before you started going on this, when we get the shot of the arse cheeks of Daisy, as she walks out, Bill Boss shouts to her, "And I need my ball sack emptied before lunch. Tits." He just calls her tits throughout, and he needs his ball sack emptied. I'm like, what? How is she in this job? We do find out a bit later.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. But now it's time to move on to some torture. There's an inmate who's strapped to a table in one of the cells. Bill Boss has come down there. Dwight's there. Mm-hmm. Inmate's being mouthy. Two of the wardens come in and they've got buckets of water. They've bought regular water. Bill Boss asks for boiling water because what he's going to do is boiling water torture. So he puts the cloth over the guy's face and then drops all of the boiling water on his face. Three lots of giant buckets of boiling water. Pulls the cloth away and he's like, it's all sticky, isn't he? He's all sticky.
Yeah, there was a bit of a lack of attention for this, I think, because like when he's like, "No, I want boiling water," and they bring it back in like big tin buckets. First of all, there's no attempt at like steam coming off the water.
There is loads of steam that comes off the water. I didn't
see any steam. And then when he picks up the bucket, he's just got bare hands just holding the bucket. I was like, that would scorch your fingers.
I think you're thinking about the wrong things.
No, but that was so obvious to me, so that when they actually pour the water over the guy's face, it's already lost half of the threat, because I'm not buying it.
Do you need to buy this Human Centipede 3? Uh-oh. The governor's coming. Because the statistics at this prison are bottom of the league. Okay, it's got the most prison riots, it's got the most violence, etc. Bill Boss says to his secretary Daisy, when the governor arrives, try and make him grab your ass so we can sue him for sexual assault. Is that a good plan?
Maybe, but it doesn't really work.
And because I didn't know anything about this film, in comes the governor. It's the one and only Eric Roberts. We're now going to get Dieter Lasser and Eric Roberts across from each other in a scene, much like De Niro and Pacino in Heat.
Nothing
Eric
like
Roberts
that,
is here.
Because Dieter Lasser is absolutely incredible to watch. Eric Roberts was not so much. I've seen him do a worse performance, but this was not good.
Much like that performance you're referring to, as I explained to you then, Eric Roberts has got 40 different film sets to get to a day, okay? He's got to literally just learn the lines and reel them off. He can't be putting time into the nuances of the performance. He's got to learn the dialogue and that's it. Get in, get out. Because he's got to drive to Ventura. He's got to drive to Studio City. He's got to get all across LA.
It's actually embarrassing being across from Dieter Lasser and doing the performance that he does. In all the scenes. It's like just Dieter Lasser is running rings around him.
I was
in
thrilled
every way.
to see Eric Roberts
And
in
I
this
bet
film.
you were.
Absolutely thrilled. And that will bring me to our true or false question.
Oh, great.
True or false? This one should be easy. True or false? Eric Roberts is a better actor than his sister Julia.
False.
That's wrong. It's actually true. Eric Roberts, Oscar nominated, for The Runaway back in the day. That great performance in Entourage. What's Julia Roberts done? Name a film. Miss Congeniality, is that her?
No. Pretty Woman?
What's the one where she takes in that schoolboy to be a football player, which she won an Oscar for, instead of, Ellen Burstyn from Requiem for a Dream?
I don't know. She's also in, Mona Lisa Smile.
Oh, great. That's a great movie.
Well, just because you don't like her movies doesn't mean
I've
she
not
can't
seen
act.
it. What the hell is Mona Lisa Smile? You wouldn't find Eric Roberts in some trash like Mona
You've
Lisa
seen
Smile.
Pretty Woman, though, because I made you watch it.
Is that one with the guy from Seinfeld?
It's
I have
with,
no idea what you're referring to with that.
when he gives... It's when she's a prostitute.
That bit was good.
And then Richard
Unrealistic.
Gere takes her in.
Right, whatever. That's enough of that. Anyway, Eric Roberts.
What an idiot.
He's the man. He is the absolute man, and here he is. We get a lot... the thing is it purposeful that Dieter Lasser's character, Bill Boss, in this he's shouting too much? Because I get the feeling that Tom Six could have reined it in and got an actual, what would be considered top performance. Instead, we get what bordered on a slightly annoying performance at times when he's just shouting constantly. And a lot of time when he shouts, I can't decipher what he's saying. At points I was thinking to myself, is he speaking German now? And no, it turns out he is still speaking English, but he's just shouting it.
Yeah.
And it's indecipherable.
Yeah, there was a lot of shouting.
That was the one thing that annoyed me about this film, was just maybe a bit too much shouting, but I think he's done it on purpose to annoy people again.
I don't know, because he's also just added in this little thing. The moment just before we see the arse cheeks shot, she's delivered a package to him. Mm-hmm. Turns out it's a special delivery from Africa, he says.
It gives you strength.
That gives you strength, and it's dried clitorises.
And so Dwight is asking, what is it? For the third time. And so Dieter Lasser goes, clitorises! Never seen that in a movie either. Yeah, he's munching on dried clitoris.
Yeah.
Like
I said, there's
not
a moment wasted.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So stupid.
So good. Now we're in the yard. Dwight and Bill Boss, they're in the guard tower. He's got the megaphone. And he's letting them know that to curb all the violence in his prison, there will now be castrations. And who's going to be lucky number one? It's Robert Lozado.
Yeah.
So they take Robert Lozado off to a room again in the prison. He's been held against the wall by two guards. In walks Dieter Lasser and Dwight. First of all, Dieter Lasser's got a blowtorch around which he lights his cigars with. I'm thinking, oh, what's he going to do here with the blowtorch? Yeah. Then he just kind of cuts into Robert Lozado's pants, his trousers, rips open so we see the ass cheeks. But then all of a sudden he just pulls out a blade and pops out both his testicles, which was a great effect. Great testicle effect. Then
that looked like real testicle to me.
He then hands it off to the guard and says, I need this for lunch, medium rare, and then proceeds to smear all the bull blood over his face.
Yeah, Tom Six is literally just doing every single little thing you could possibly think of to get a reaction out of people, isn't he? The clitorises, the whore secretary, all the jokes at various religions' expense.
I actually was shocked and disgusted at this point because everyone knows that you have testicles rare, not medium rare.
No, I prefer them sliced up and battered and deep fried if I'm going to have it. There was one thing where I feel like he missed what could have been a genuinely toe curling moment, because I thought because he got Lozado turned around and he makes the hole in his pants, as you just mentioned. You thought some kind of
knife rape or blowtorch rape.
I thought he was going to shove the blowtorch in and light it.
That's how your mind works.
That would have, to me, having that, but oh shit, is that about to happen?
Sick.
And then cutting the testicles out, that was actually like a letdown.
Tom Six would never put a blowtorch up an actor's arse and then put it on. That would not come from one of his films. So after this great scene, we're instantly into another great scene. We're back into the office and Billy Boss is getting blown by Daisy, who's on her knees in front of the desk while Dwight watches on. He's pretending that he's not looking by putting his fingers over his eyes. And she stops kind of like mid and says, look, boss, I can't do this with Dwight watching. He's like, just get yourself back down there. And then we have the most elongated climax scene with tongue that I've ever seen. For much longer than that. And he's finally climaxed. And then we get a shot on Daisy's face. And she's got a bit of cum on her chin. And she's like, because she's still got it in her mouth. And he's like, swallow it! Swallow! She's like, He's like, I did not get your daddy out of prison for nothing. This is why she's being like it. And then so eventually she's like,
oh, is that why?
And then
I didn't catch that.
And then to wash away the taste, she picks up the jar, which is on Dieterlas's table, and says, oh, do you mind if I have one of these to wash away the taste? Puts it in her mouth. She's like, it's a bit salty. That's because it's a clitoris from Africa. A dried one. That's a funny scene. That's funny. Do you know what's funny?
I didn't say it wasn't funny.
What do you think about the nice little touch of like just a bit of jism on the chin?
Yeah, again, just every little thing done
Every little
to make
detail.
it disgusting.
Every little detail is there. After she's finished the deed, as she's walking off, Dieterlas is like, and make my lunch, I'm hungry. He's got it sorted. To be fair, I do relate a little bit with Bill Boss, because if I'm in a crap office job, boring, in the heat, I'm going to need a secretary. And not a secretary that is, repelled by me, one that is willing. So yeah.
And then I'll serve you some medium rare bollocks.
I'm relating on the level. No, I'm not really into eating bollocks, but maybe I could be persuaded to chow down on a dried clit. Because when are you going to get the chance again? Dried clit is the one thing missing from Heathen. Certainly is. He's beat me to that, he has. Beat me to it. After seeing this, take place in front of him, Dwight once again, he's like, will you please listen to my idea? And once again, because Bill Boss has found the Human Centipede DVDs on his desk again. He's like, why do you keep giving me this shit? And he's like, please, sir, you gotta listen to me. We need a deterrent. He's insistent that he's gonna make this centipede. Also, shamefully, I failed to mention that after being sexually relieved and saying that he wants his lunch now, his lunch is then brought to him, and it's the two nuts. It looks like tinned meatballs with some kale. Dry.
It didn't look very filling.
He cuts into it, he's eating it, and across from him, Dwight's eating his sandwich. He's like... he had to spit out his sandwich because he can't take the bollock eating. Yeah,
I mean, Dwight's character confused me throughout this film as well, because he says at certain points, like, oh, I idolized you. He wants the centipede thing to happen, so he's just as messed up in a way, but then he does seem to be grossed out or, like, in some compassionate pain when Billy Boss is doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's also always saying, like, oh, think of the medical expenses. Because he's the accountant, so he has to think about that stuff.
What's great is he wants a centipede. He says nothing wrong with making the centipede, but everything, like you say, that Dieter Lasser as Billy Boss is doing, he's like, oh, please stop, sir. Yeah. So now we're in the hospital wing of the prison. There's an employed doctor there who doesn't have a license, so it's the only place he can work as a doctor because obviously crazy Bill Boss is employing him. We also have as one of the patients there, because we've got down there the waterboarded guy.
Yeah.
We've got Robert Lozardo, and we've got the guy who breaks his masturbating arm, and we've also got the doctor, the psychiatrist from the first one with a massive bushy beard.
The second one, yeah.
Second one, should I say? And when he's down there, he says to the doctor, "Tomorrow, we start mass castrations." He also mentions, "Do you know that I castrated him myself?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're all aware."
Yeah.
That you castrated Robert Lozardo.
Yeah.
And he walks over to Robert Lozardo and he starts taunting him. He's like, how do you feel without them? Do you feel more submissive? And to which point Robert Lozardo is all like, I don't need them. I'm going to find some barbed wire, fuck you in the ass, then I'm going to dig up your Nancy parents and I'm going to rape them too. Zig Heil, motherfucker. Great writing.
Yeah, it does seem a bit stupid though from the prisoner's point of view to keep making yourself the main target. I mean, this guy's clearly deranged. You don't know what he's going to do next. Well, we do.
Bill Boss then gets on top of Robert Lazardo and strangles him to death. Strangles him, chokes him out, and then he tells the prison doctor, resuscitate him. So he resuscitates him with a defibrillator and just chokes him out again. Because why not? Let's just really throw the kitchen sink at it. And as he's finished killing Robert Lazardo for the second time, he walks off. And then we have like the wink self-awareness really just starting to come to the forefront of the movie. Because Dwight then goes to the doctor, will you watch these movies? And the doctor says, I've seen them. They're really good. I'm loving that.
Oh, so
absolutely
stupid.
Loving it. And yeah, Dwight is not appalled by the Human Centipede, but he's appalled by everything else.
By everything else.
Now Dwight is in the office and he starts putting his foot down. He's putting his foot down to Bill Boss about the Human Centipede idea. And Bill Boss is like, that B-movie shit. Dwight's like, no, well, actually, I've made a meeting with the director of these movies, Mr. Tom Six himself, to which Bill Boss is like, I am not talking to film director about his poop fetish. Because Tom Six is putting everything in this movie in the dialogue which has been said about him in reviews, stuff like that. And then he shouts again, obviously. He shouts again and he fires Dwight for this stupid idea. And as Dwight's walking out, I'm not quite sure what it was because he walks into Daisy's office and hands her like this cloth. I assumed it was a pair of her panties that he's been keeping on him, like sniffing him or something. But it just looks like a dusting cloth. So why is he handing over some cloth to her? Because it was, it's there purposefully in the movie. Like, what has he just handed to her?
I don't know.
I've got to assume it was a really dirty pair of knickers of hers that he's been hiding away from her for like years.
That to me.
No, it didn't.
It looked like some big granny pants if they were going to be knickers at all.
That's the thing. Maybe it was, laundry day.
I didn't really think about it too much.
I was thinking about it.
Clearly.
Now Bill Boss is back into his guard tower.
With his megaphone.
And this is when we really get all the expletives about this. He's dropping the N-bomb. He's going on about Jews, going on about Muslims, going on about Asians, going on about white people, just the whole shebang. Yeah, and I won't repeat what he says. You just have to watch it yourself. But also it was problematic because halfway through that speech, again, he starts really shouting, and I couldn't understand the word he was saying. I had to look up what he said. I was like, oh,
yeah, it's
oh
true.
Dear, kind of thing.
True. Maybe watch it with subtitles on.
Yeah, like I said,
if you want to be truly offended. Yeah.
He's like, please, I have a heart problem. Yeah. I was only taking orders.
Yeah.
Really good.
I will let you all go.
Go! Yeah, funny. Really funny.
Well, like I said, this guy's an incredible actor. I'd really like to see him in a different kind of role where he's maybe just not a psychopath.
You have to watch German stuff, possibly.
Yeah, I think so too. And also I find it interesting because Tom Six, apparently his favourite actor ever is Klaus Kinski. And I was like, I can kind of see why.
Yeah. Once the inmates surround
this bit.
Bill Boss, Lazardo starts saying, someone hands Lazardo a shank, and he's like, I'm not gonna fuck you in your dirty asshole. Instead, he makes a incision, a stabbing into his soft kidney tissue, rips a new hole, takes his willy out, and proceeds to shag this hole. And you see Robert Lazardo literally pumping from a bird's eye view against this new hole that he's punched into Bill Boss. And he's like, that shit feels good.
Yeah.
What was this? Never seen this before either.
No, I haven't. I wasn't even questioning at this point exactly why he was there and why this was. I was just like, okay, yeah, cool. Now we've got a kidney rape scene. That makes perfect sense to the rest of this film.
As this is happening, Bill Boss looks up and he sees Dwight giving oral sex to an inmate, and he's literally on a prosthetic cock, isn't he?
I hope so.
I hope it's prosthetic, yeah. And he turns around Dwight and he does the old
He's just like,
oh, gross. Gross, but exhilarating.
This, again, I don't think I've ever seen this before. I've seen your classic, prison scene, but not to the kidneys. So yeah, but again, I was like, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh yeah, it did make me question though, because clearly Lozada's character is able to not only get it hard enough to put in there, but he also apparently jizzes.
Mm-hmm. That's all
and
possible
I'm like,
without testicles.
That wasn't what I was wondering, you dum-dum. That's
for everyone else out there.
I thought for men to get hard, you have to be like sexually aroused.
The prison thing, they always, instead of saying, oh, it's just straight out homosexuals, we do each other in the bum, they just say it's about power.
Yeah.
So they're driven by power, apparently. I'm not buying it.
Does power get you hard?
Not homosexual power. He wakes up from this nightmare. And he's back he's back in his office.
Yeah.
Dwight appears. Bill Boss like, I fired you. What the hell are you doing here? He's like, look, I'm going to give you one last chance. You can fire me afterwards. I'll quit if you don't believe in my idea. Now look, Tom Six is arriving today, and he's going to give us all the lowdown. And all of a sudden now we get the arrival of the one and only Tom Six in his Mercedes with his hat and his glasses, which he's always wearing. Enters the building, and before he gets into the main office, he's got to walk past Daisy, the secretary, and she is bending over at the drawers with a very nice outfit, the shortest skirt I've ever seen, some high heels. It's like she's getting ready to do, an adult movie. And Tom Six walks in, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Six, before you go into the meeting, do you mind if you give me an autograph?" And he's like, "Sure, babe."
Yeah,
in the most unreal and unnatural way ever.
Yeah.
This is when the movie got really good for me.
When Tom Six appeared
when
in his
Tom
own film.
Six appears in his own film.
Dear God, absolutely abysmal. Again, this has got to be ironic. The way he rolls up and what he's wearing, the way he acts. Of course it is.
No, he dresses like that all the time.
But, yeah, well, so I've heard. But, and yeah, this guy cannot act. Can he direct? I don't know, but he cannot act.
Clearly he can direct. Look at Dieter Lesser. Lawrence R. Harvey in the second one. Yeah, they sit him down. He finally walks into the room. And Dwight, straight away, he starts fanboying out, doesn't he? He's like praising all of his previous work and stuff like this. Bill Boss is like, oh, for God's sake, stop with this fanboy shit, kind of thing, because Dwight is congratulating him on the Human Centipede permeating the cultural zeitgeist. He mentions the South Park episode, the Human Centipede. He mentions the porn parody, other things, and the whole time Tom's just sitting like, nodding his thank yous to him, and then it doesn't end there because now the prison doctor walks in and he's like, "Sorry, I'm late." He says, "Hey, Tom Six, I'm a big fan."
So dumb.
This is my dumb humour. This was hitting me in the dumb humour spot.
And what has Tom Six got with him? He's got his highly accurate drawings again.
Mr. Six, is this film really 100% medically accurate? Yes, I consulted a doctor in Amsterdam. He even gave me the diagrams. Here they are.
And it's the same ones from the first movie.
It's the same ones. And he hands it off to the present doctor, and the present doctor's like...
Oh, yeah, no, I can see from these scribbles that this is an accurate... Like, yeah. What
they're going to do instead, because they said, we can't be actually cutting the prisoners' ligaments and knocking their teeth out and things. So Dwight's been thinking about this, and he's got a plan. He says, all we do is make like small incisions in the lips, and all they're going to be left with is a small scar on the anus and a small scar on the lips, and they'll be able to go and live a very productive life, because he's concerned with the people who have to be released from their sentences, kind of thing.
Yeah, because now let's try and put some sort of semblance.
So he's got these ideas of leather straps and things like this, where you can pull them in tighter through strings and things like this. And the prison doctor, no, he's backing it up. They're also just going to use injections to temporarily paralyse them rather than cutting away at the ligaments and stuff like that. And then
they finally realise that they have to mention the fact that excrement is not nutritiously valuable, so yeah, you're gonna have to give them some injections, but it could work.
But they could live a long, healthy life. And it's at this point where Tom Six says, my original idea for Human Centipede was to show a pedophile's mouth to a big fat truck driver. So I loved it. I cracked up at that as well. So I loved it.
So
I'm
stupid.
absolutely loving
He's also
Tom Six.
struck a bargain because all of a sudden Dieter Lasser's character's like Billy Boss. He's like, yeah, actually, I know I've been saying no this whole time, but now I realise this is a great idea. And Tom Six says, well, you can have my idea and implement it, but I insist that I see it because I've only seen the latex version so far.
Yeah, so he's going to attend the operation. Why wouldn't you? No, it's his idea. He wants to see the real thing. To get this plan into action, the very level-headed Bill Boss, he says that at their once monthly movie night, he's going to show the inmates the Human Centipede movies back to back and then announce to them their fate. Dwight doesn't think it's a very good idea because he thinks they might riot and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Do you think? And we also get the scene of them actually watching bits. So we see, again, more snippets from the first two films. We see their reactions, which, to be fair, are quite mixed.
What's great about the parts of Human Centipede and Human Centipede 2 that they show to the prisoners in the movie is Katsura going, shit! I need to shit, and all prisoners like, oh, and then it goes to the second one, and it gets to the point where Dwight has wrapped barbed wire around his penis before he's about to rape the centipede. And what's really funny is, at least to me, is that he has certain characters like Katsuro, like the psychiatrist from the second one, standing up and denouncing the movie as that it should be banned and things like this. He was repeating stuff that had been said by mainstream critics about his film. And the funniest one was Katsuro. He was like, this movie belongs in the world where the stars don't shine.
Yeah, do you think Tom Six has told that actor? Because the actor was being very serious in the first one. He's like, mate, this one's not serious.
Yes, just go for it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely go for it. I found that hilarious. Even you laughed at Katsuro saying that out loud as well.
It was more the way he said it than even what he was saying.
Exactly. It was the way that he said it. Now that they all know what their fate is going to be, of course, Dwight was right. And the entire prison inmates, they start chasing after Dwight and Bill Boss.
I thought this bit was quite funny, seeing the way Bill Boss was running away through all the doors, and then
it's literally like, ah!
Yeah, with his little, and he had a gun with him as well. I was like, rifle. So why did he bother bringing the rifle? He wasn't going to use it.
Is it even? I think it's like a machine gun because they get all their attention. He's like, brrr, doesn't he, into the air? But it doesn't really matter. But once they get chased, they end up holding up into their office, and obviously Daisy tries to come into the office, but then Bill Boss is like, yeah. Just pushes her back out, so she's left in her little office. In come the inmates, and also the black inmate who's had his arm broken. He starts beating her up, and Katsuro's having a wank to it.
Yeah,
depraved.
It is. Yeah, I almost thought that maybe they'd sort of be like, oh no, Daisy, you're just as put upon as us, but no. No, there's no mercy. Again, everyone is a scumbag.
No mercy.
Everyone.
No mercy for anyone. But why is Daisy a scumbag? Daisy's not a scumbag.
Alright, Daisy's the least scumbag.
She's been coerced into doing this so that her daddy can be free from prison.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't know what sin her father has committed.
Yeah.
Could be anything, really. So after Daisy gets beaten up, Bill Boss manages to get himself out the window and he falls into the prison yard. And luckily for him, the guards come in and they settle everything down. Dwight comes outside, sees Bill Boss, and he says, Daisy, they got Daisy. She's in a bad way. Bill Boss is like, can't you see I'm hurt? Get me the medical. He doesn't give a damn about Daisy whatsoever. And there's more shouting from him. Lots more shouting from Bill Boss.
His vocal cords had a real workout.
So now it's time to sedate the prisoners. Locked them all up, and he's walking around with his tranquilizer gun, shooting them all. And this is when he does his jig and his dance. His jig is like death, 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 rape, 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 along those lines. And then get them on their fucking knees. Fucking knees. I don't even know what to say about this scene.
This was so committed.
Was this in the script?
I was getting like Jack Nicholson vibes when he was doing his little dance. Yeah, because he's done a pretty off the wall performance as well before. Oh yeah. Oh no,
that was just Jack Nicholson in Batman.
Oh really?
Yeah, I wasn't referring to the gastro.
What Dieter then also does. Yeah.
Yeah. He's so now that we know that these guys are all going to be turned into a centipede, Dwight asked a very important question. What are you going to do with the lifers and the death row inmates, though? And we're going to find out in a little bit. But now we're back to the prison. This is pure black comedy scene, pitch black comedy. The prison doctor is there. He's like, we have a few problems. He takes Bill Boss to the first patient. He's like, this patient suffers from Crohn's disease. And Bill was like, what the hell is Crohn's disease? It means he has diarrhea a lot and he can't keep it in. And he's like, ha 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 ha, I have big plans for you. Because he's going to sew this guy to Robert Lozardo's mouth. He deserves the diarrhea, apparently. Then the next guy, he's like, we've got another problem. He brings to a guy with a colostomy bag. Bill Boss rips it out.
Oh.
He's like, we need to see if this is real. And also, I think he said that his like rectum is sewn shut or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it's supposed to go to the bag instead, which has now been ripped out. And realising this inmate is not going to fit into his centipede, he proceeds to shove the end of his gun into the hole where the bag was and shoots him. And
then poop goes everywhere because, as we know, Tom Six is a poop infatuated guy. It goes all over his gun. He hands it to White. He's like, go and wash this, and if there is any smell of poopy, you will be shot in the head. So I thought that was pretty good. And he like I say, he shoots him in the colostomy bag, walks on to the next one. He's like, well, what about him? And it's a guy in a wheelchair. And Bill Bosher says, I am sick and tired of you vegetables, and shoots him. You vegetables.
Yeah, because that was the one thing that, he didn't quite manage to get in his tirade of insults, was people, with physical disabilities.
So these are the people that aren't going to fit into the centipede. So all three of them have been offed. Also, poor Daisy is down here. Daisy's in bed, looking worse for wear after being beaten to a pulp. And it turns out that Dwight, he's like sympathetic towards. It turns out he's in love with her. Dwight is in love with Daisy, and he says, Bill, we've got to get her treated in a real hospital. I love her, kind of thing. Bill Boss poo-poos Dwight's love for Daisy and says to him, the corpse of a spastic would not fuck you. And then he says, I need my cock socket here. And he spits on his fingers, wets Daisy, and he says, even in a coma, I will make you squirt. And then in front of Dwight, just starts having his way.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any films that cross all the boundaries as much as this one, to be fair.
I loved it.
He's literally gone for every single thing you can possibly
He's gone for
think
everything,
of.
hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had child abuse in the one before. What can I possibly put in this to top that off?
Dried clits. Getting onto passed out people, boning kidneys. I mean, you don't know what to expect coming around the corner in this film. It's quite mind-boggling.
But it is a time to celebrate now, because they're back in the office and they're saying, we're going to come in on time and under budget. And to celebrate, Bill Boss says, thank God for female circumcision, and shoves down a load of clitorises down his throat. Tom Six is back again, and he's like being shown around the prison. He's like, I can't wait for the operation. And there's a prisoner who's due to be in the centipede, but he likes eating his own poop too much.
Yeah.
And Bill was like, I don't want anyone in the centipede who enjoys it. Pfft. That's the end of him, because he's been eating his own poop. And why would you want people enjoying it? He's lost it, hasn't he? And then Tom Six is now watching one of the operations through like a glass partition. And we see the stitches go through the mouth, and we see the anus being pulled in by the strings toward the face. This was a much more graphic detail, but much more, it was swift. It was professional, the way that it was all drawn together.
Like the first one again. Yeah,
I'm talking just in the terms of the way it was filmed as well. I thought it was the best use of it. And then Tom Six throws up at this, runs away, and is called a pussy by Bill Boss. And then we see in this other room that all these inmates' limbs are being chopped off.
Yeah.
And Dwight's like, why the hell are you doing this?
Again,
and once again, we get another kind of like sing-song.
Yeah, but I think actually this was the bit where Tom Six vomits when he's seeing like an arm chopped off or something, and I was like, really? So your whole thing of like mouth to anus, that's exciting, but chopping someone's limb off, that makes you vomit.
Because chopping limbs off is just bourgeois.
So you can't take it.
So you can't take the bourgeois. It's way too bourgeois
and yeah,
for
this
Tom Six.
song you're talking about, because like Dwight is like, you know, what are you doing with these guys? And Dieter just goes behind him, like, hooks his arms and starts, like, walking down the corridor. You will see, stuff like that. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know what's happening, but I like it. Back to the office now. Everyone's made up because the centipede is ready. Dwight is extra excited, obviously, because this is all his idea. And to make things even better, Eric Roberts is back. He's returned as the governor. He gets into the office and he's like, you two are despicable and your statistics are bottom of the league. You're both fired. But wait, Herr Governor. We have something to show you. It's ready in the yard. This multi-person, multi-inmate centipede. Eric Roberts is shown the centipede and he's taken to the head of it. And the black guy is the head of the centipede. And Eric Roberts is like, why? And Dieter Lasser says, because he loves junk food. It's like, no, not that. Just why have you built a centipede? Great comic moment, that.
Eric Roberts' performance in this bit again, like, oh my god.
It was stellar.
It was so
Corin,
half-assed.
he's got 40 sets to get to.
And Dieter Lasser is...
He's the hardest working man in Hollywood.
Literally doing jigs around him. And then you've just got him like, why?
Well, Dieter Lasser's only got one
that's not
movie,
what I
2 or
meant.
3 movies to do a year. Eric Roberts has got 450.
That's wrong. That's so
Okay.
wrong.
Dwight takes the Governor Eric Roberts, no less, for a walk around the centipede, and he's selling him on it, saying, you know, we're going to save money left, right, and centre. This will be a big deterrent against criminals. No one will ever want to come to prison, knowing that instead of getting, you know, PlayStations and couches and being served food, instead they're going to have their mouth stitched to some dirty anus. So there's a lot of incentives for this. All of a sudden, one of them starts, and we get the old feed him again. And Bill Boss is selling it in his own way, but he's thinking about the bigger picture. He says, we have a Jew stitched to a Muslim, a Crip stitched to a blood. World peace is upon us. Is this a good idea to bring about world peace? Everyone is collaborating in this, aren't they?
Well, it does seem to be the kind of thing that would bring people together.
What is it? Very good. What is especially mean-spirited, though, is Daisy. They've put Daisy in the middle. What has Daisy done to be deserved to be put in the middle of the centipede?
It doesn't make any sense. When her butt and her mouth are sewn into this centipede, she's not even going to be able to do what he wants her for. So why did he waste that opportunity? He says, like, I think it was a mistake, to be fair, because she was just in that hospital, so we see her, like, gurney being pushed after the first bit. But Dieter Lasser's Bill Bob, whatever, sees her.
Bill Boss.
And he's like, oh yeah, this is just an experiment to see if the genders, you know, can be put together, or whatever.
I hope the guy behind us into, like, Scheisse porn, because then he's living dreamland then, isn't he?
Oh god. And also you get Dwight just like...
Yeah, because Dwight's still in love with her, obviously. Dwight is continuing to sell this to Eric Roberts, because Eric Roberts, Governor Eric Roberts, he's kind of appalled. But Dwight's saying to him, think about, we can reuse all the money into schools, hospitals, nursing homes. The taxpayers will absolutely love you for it. And this isn't all we have, by the way. You need to see my new creation, the human caterpillar. And this is why all the limbs are being taken off.
Yeah, we have the lifers and death row penalty guys with no limbs and still sewn butt to face.
Yeah. After Eric Roberts has been shown all this, he's then taken back into the hospital, and they had the Muslim prisoner who was always speaking Arabic or whatever, and he's praying on the bed, and he's praying because he's literally just been let go from the centipede, and they're selling it even more because Dwight's saying, look, the public will see the scarring around his lips and know that he is a rehabilitated inmate. And the Muslim prisoner leaves, and this is kind of the end of their presentation to Eric Roberts, who he's absolutely not sold, is he? He's not sold on this. He's just absolutely disgusted by it. It's too much for him.
He's still, like, his reaction is still so tame compared to what I would imagine would happen in real life if you came to inspect one of your prisons and found a human
Eric
centipede
Roberts
being
can't
created.
expend too much energy. Like I say, he's got 40 sets to get to in a day. Okay, he's just got to learn the lines and get them out there. People are lucky that Eric Roberts was even in your movie. I'd have Eric Roberts in The Heathen.
His rejection of this idea has obviously really been a big downer on Billy Boss. And Billy Boss ends up shooting the doctor after he comes in and is all happy. He's like, when are we going to roll out the program?
Yeah, finally the doctor has got, a real project at hand here, and he's super pumped. But because, like you say, they've just been given the bad news from Governor Eric Roberts, blows him away. Unlucky for him, because we're showing Eric Roberts becoming like driving down the road, and all of a sudden he's thinking about it again. And he returns. He returns just as Bill Boss is about to shoot Dwight in the head for the same reasons. And he walks in, lights his cigar and says, "It's genius. This may get me elected president." So Dwight has a reprieve. He has a reprieve for a second. Eric Roberts leaves. Dwight's like, "It was all my idea. It was my idea." Dieter Lasser's like, "Yep, you deserve credit. Give me a hug." I mean, it's going to be a happy ending, but obviously Bill Boss can't let Dwight have the credit, so he blows him away in the head as well. And it just ends with Bill Boss then shouting his lungs out in the guard tower naked.
Yeah, again, why not just throw that in there? It's so random.
So why was this the best one?
It was full go, go, go. It was so out there, bonkers.
It was funny.
Dieter Lasser's performance.
Superb.
It was probably, if anything, the least horror.
That's a problem, that a lot of the reason, apart from the people who are just appalled by the thought, by the way, why are these appalled people now watching number three? But people who are into horror also didn't, I don't want to call it a slow burn, but we only see the centipede in the last, say, 15, 20 minutes of the movie, right? So it's kind of like people are expecting, "Oh, when's the centipede going to get here?" But we've already seen the centipede loads, and it's not really very effective.
Yeah, but also we've seen a lot of other gore and horror, like, leading up to it, like the broken...
Exactly, but we know, like I say, we've seen the centipede already so much. We've seen it in colour, we've seen it in black and white, we've seen it done by a professional doctor, we've seen it done by just a regular guy who works in a parking lot. In this one, I feel like this one used the potential of what the human centipede could be to its fullest. This could have been the only movie, rather than having the other two. This would have been the perfect centipede movie. It is the perfect centipede movie for me, this one.
This one is like full on irony, I think, and it, like more social commentary than the other two.
Exactly, I've written down.
But that's why
it has social and political commentary.
Yeah,
it's actually saying something.
But that's why it's not horror as much, because it's so over the top and silly that it's more like just super black humor.
This is a horror comedy. This is what I'm looking for in a horror comedy, not Shaun of the Dead. That's for the bourgeois. That's people who are not really into horror, just into general movies, right? This is a horror comedy. You have to like the blackest of humor, but if you do, you can't go wrong with this. I was just cracking up at absolutely loads of this, and other people. The things I was cracking up at other people are disgusted at. But they're not getting the point of the film, really, are they? The fact that Tom Six has put himself in this, being congratulated left, right, and centre, it's just hilarious. I love that. And that's another thing that critics had a problem with. Oh, it's tired, all this wink stuff. It's like, no, he's done it right. He's done it right. It's just funny because it's so shameless. Yeah. Have you seen these movies, kind of thing? And it had really good effects, I thought. The testicles coming out, the boiling, waterboarding, all of that stuff, I think was on another level for me personally, and it's just no holds barred.
Yeah,
this one brought it back for me, because like I said, I was underwhelmed by the first one, I was a bit blah on the second one. This one was for me. This one was certainly for me. So overall, Tom Six,
I don't think he's even done much else, has he?
He made a movie in 2019. I think it was called the Anonia Project, something like that. The Anonia something. And what it's about high society women who live in this kind of like boarding house, and they get off on the misery of others so much that they all masturbate to it. But it hasn't managed to gain a release. So we don't know if we'll ever see it.
That he might have done longer ago, which I think must be in Dutch, and it's just called Gay, the film.
Yeah, I did. I
have no idea what it's about.
And he said that this is the end. Full sequence is the end. But he has kind of teased a fourth one. He's like, but where can I go? Space aliens. I was like, yes, Human Centipede in space. That's what you bring it back for. I watched number 3 twice in one day.
You did.
That's how good it is. So yeah, if you like stuff in incredibly bad taste where everybody is for the taking, then number 3 is the one for you.
Essentially, I feel like if you like South Park, you'll probably enjoy this film.
I thought it was great. So,
and once again, I really want to see D to Latter and something else now. I just want to see if it carries.
And I'll definitely be buying this DVD just to hear what Tom Six has got to say about the whole thing. Crazy Dutch bastard.
That's what I was thinking, the whole thing in a Dutch accent.